In this episode of Film Stock Reviews, I'm reviewing episode 2 of The Offer, titled Warning Shots. Now, this episode picks up where episode 1 left off in a crazy way. A message was sent to Al and his secretary, Betty, by getting their car back window blown out by Mickey Cohen. If you don't know who Mickey Cohen is, do your research. I'm not going to get into it. But basically, this episode starts off with Joe Colombo holding a press conference with the Italian Civil Rights League and saying that the Godfather book is a fraud, it's going to put a bad name for us, but you can, change certain things about it by not supporting this book and this movie. So that cuts to a scene between Francis Ford Coppola and Mario Puzo as they're sitting around talking. The dynamic between what these two actors bring to these characters is fantastic. It's like a great back and forth banter, and I feel like that's what Coppola and Puzo actually did in real life. Now, basically, they're talking about the movie, and we find out that both of them want Marlon Brando for the role of Don Vito Corleone. And Francis Ford Coppola has this vision for the movie that he knows will have to potentially, go to war, so to speak, with the studio. Because back in the day, the studio controlled everything and really didn't give much creative control to the director at this time, especially even the writers. And once the writers took over, your scripts and your drafts were changed, then the director got a hold of it, the director changed it, and then your final say wasn't the one that, it went through all these iterations that you don't know what happened in the end, and your final cut of the movie is not what you envisioned. Now, after all this is happening, Al Ruddy goes to see Mickey Cohen. The balls that this character has is impeccable, and he's not stopping at all to make this movie, which is crazy. I do like how this character is written because it shows that he has drive, he has passion to do something that he knows nothing about. And because he knows nothing about it, he's just doing what he thinks is right. He wants this movie to be made. But you can tell that he's telling different people certain things about what they want to hear just to get his movie made, meaning he's bullshitting his way through it, which I really think actually probably happened in real life with Al Ruddy, which is very, very interesting. Now, there is a scene where Francis Ford Coppola and Mario Puzo, along with Betty, meet up with Robert Evans and the casting director while, Al is at the meeting with Mickey Cohen. All of a sudden, the heads of Gulf and Western. Now, if you didn't know, Gulf and Western was basically the funding of Paramount. So whatever Paramount was doing, Gulf and Western was giving them money to make the movies. It's like, so for to speak, like, Amazon buying MGM now. So if MGM wants to make a movie, I'm pretty sure Amazon, Jeff Bezos have to have the final say because they're funding it. So that's how that is right now. So they come in, Gulf and Western, and basically they go back and forth and they say, you can't shoot the movie in New York due to budgetary reasons. Francis Ford Coppola freaks out, runs out. Al comes in at the moment Francis runs out, goes to him and says, listen, no, you're going to make your movie. And Francis is like, if you can get your shit together, then fine. Let me make this movie how I want to make this movie. Now, there is a scene where they're starting to do their casting, and Al and Francis and Mario go meet Vic Damone, who is a popular singer, and they want him as the role of Johnny Fontaine. So they do that. Vic Damone's doing his set on stage, and all of a sudden the heckler's guy's like, hey, I think you're going to be Vic Damone. And all of a sudden, Vic Damone says, no, I turned it down because, listen that. But then all of a sudden we find out he's a liar. And the whole aspect of, Francis being upset, Vic Damone's gone, he runs up, but, Al's like, no, listen, we're going to make this movie. So what happened basically in the true story is that Vic Damone was approached to play Johnny Fontaine, which is supposedly a reference to Frank Sinatra. Frank Sinatra, the character in this show, The Offer, is a real asshole. I don't know how much of an asshole he was in real life, but this show is portraying him as that, an asshole and an annoyance, ignorant little fuck who is just crazy and doesn't want this movie made because he got disrespected because the character of Johnny Fontaine is supposed to be based on Frank Sinatra. Whatever. So what happened was, in real life, was Vic Damone was approached. He said no. Coppola, something happened, and somehow they got Al Martino to play the role of Johnny Fontaine. And if you didn't know, Al Martino's character is the one who gets slapped in the face in the beginning of The Godfather with Marlon Brando. Marlon Brando smacks him and says, "Hey, what's the matter with you? Come on, hey." That's Al Martino, Johnny Fontaine's character, being slapped in the face. And the interesting thing about this is that the dynamic that these characters have is that it's not only a story about the making of The Godfather, but it's also the story of crime, the mafia, the mob, the Italians, the good, the bad, positive and the negative, what's happening, everything going on. It's really, really interesting. Now we're back at the casting table, and Francis Ford Coppola says that he wants Al Pacino for the role of Michael because he sees Al Pacino as this great, great actor. Francis Ford Coppola really went to bat for Al Pacino because the studio, Paramount, did not want him. They wanted Robert Redford. They wanted, I believe, Paul Newman or, James Caan for the role. Of course, we know James Caan got the role of Sonny, the more hot-headed one, which actually worked out in the end in a better way. So that's playing out. And then let me just say, Dan Fogler as Francis Ford Coppola is the perfect casting choice I've seen in a very, very long time for a TV role. If you look at Francis Ford Coppola when he was young, and if you look at him, Dan Fogler playing the role in The Offer, it's spitting image, it's great. Dan Fogler is known for being a comedic actor, but now he's going into the drama roles, which is really good and really, really fantastic. And I absolutely love him in this role. Now, while this is going on, all hell is breaking loose, and it's just crazy. And, while Al is in New York, he is going out on the street to get breakfast for Francois, and he gets taken aside by one of Columbo's men. And then the show fades to black. It's the ending, and it's picking up where you wanted to pick up. Now, I do want to say, at the end of each episode so far, there is a behind-the-scenes look at the making of each episode with the actors, the directors, and the writers, and even Al Ruddy and, the creator of the show. I believe his name is Michael Tolkien. Great way to do certain things, and it's really, really fun to see and watch. This episode was really good, and we're just getting down to the behind the scenes of what's actually happening with the making of The Godfather. Let me know in the comment section below what you thought about episode 2 of The Offer, titled Warning Shots. Did you like it? Did you not like it? What did you think of it? What do you think about the dynamic of where this story is going? Do you like where it's going? Who stands out the most to you in this show with the actors and playing these characters? Who is your favorite? Who is your least favorite? Who is the most annoying? Let me know in the comment section below about the questions I just asked, and I'll see you guys in the next review video. And be sure you tune into my episode 3 review of The Offer right here.